Welcome to Gulfstream today, and welcome to Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti, along with Acacia Courtney, and you see the time up there, 12:15. And let's say that gives you about, I'm going to say about 54 minutes to enter the contest that we have here to beat the expert. So not much time left to get your selections in.
Yeah, there's just about 60 minutes to post before the first race, so you have that time to get your final picks in. If you can pick more winners today on the 9-race card than I can, then you could have the opportunity to win one of those awesome polo shirts, plus the bragging rights to say that you beat the expert. So head on over. Information on our Facebook page. Twitter has all the links, gulfstreampark.com. Make sure you get those picks in before the start of the first race.
Yeah, and Acacia's picks are already up there, so you can try and get them in and see if you could beat the expert today and get one of those, like you said, those great polo shirts that say beat the expert right on the sleeve, so you have proof if you do indeed beat her. I don't think you will, but we'll see how that works out. We got a fast main track, we got a firm turf course, and this just in, it's warm here in South Florida.
Yes, like I said, it's an unexpected turn of events. It's very hot in South Florida in June.
Well, we're going to kick off the weekend with our Friday card, and we have a waging menu we want to show you, and we're going to start it off right in the first race with the Rolling Super High Five, and we already have a carryover in there of $3,500. Yesterday we mentioned $10,000. They ended up betting $62,000 extra dollars. That's the Rolling Super High Five, each and every race with 7 or more participants in it. Then we go, of course, in the first race, we have the first of 2 pick fives. And Acacia has a ticket today. And we've both been knocking on the door. Just can't seem to get it done. We get 4 out of 5 almost every day. But you can use our ticket to gauge yours. The Rainbow Six, you'll see, starts in race number 4 today with the 9-race card, $61,000 plus. And we end the day each and every day here at beautiful Gulfstream Park with the late pick 5. It's the last 5 races on the card. So that's what we have to offer you this afternoon, besides fantastic weather and a chance to beat the expert and come right over to the stage and brag right in your face when you do it. So, and a great way to start the day with a 5-furlong turf event. These are maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And we have no scratches or jockey changes in race number 1. And let's show your early pick 5 ticket.
Give you a quick peek at my ticket to start the day. $36. I had 2 deep right here in the first leg, and then we're pretty deeply spread in the middle races. But my single came in the last leg of the early pick 5, and that's with the number 4 in race number 5, Norman's Hero. So we'll see if we can get Norman's Hero home. Definitely looks like the one to beat on paper for sure. So hopefully make it to the last leg and get that single in the winner's circle.
Very affordable ticket, only $36. And I used those 2 horses. I think we probably used them in the same order. We started it off with the number 5 AVA Tricks, and this is the daughter Bring the Heat, debuting for breeder, owner, trainer Wesley Ward. Trio of solid workout showing, which includes that recent 3-furlong bullet in 35 and 4. So lots of things to like about this first-time starter.
Absolutely, and this is actually one of 2 first-time starters in this field. But as you mentioned, coming from the Wesley Ward barn, want to give you a stat to show how Wesley Ward does with those first-time starters, and in particular in maiden claiming. 26 for 101, about 26% win. 44 for 101, 44% of the time in the money. His horses are usually pretty well bet, so $1.75 ROI, not too surprising, but very solid win and in the money percentages.
Yeah, I mean, there's a logical choice in there. And currently, if you're looking at the board right now, very, very early in the wagering, 2-1. Number 9.
No,
Hiram's Mistress, right? Another horse we use, hoping to get away from the starting gate in a timely fashion today.
Absolutely. This horse has had a couple of troubled trips in the last 2. Last time out, we got bumped at the start, ended up being moved up from 5th to 4th through the disqualification of a horse in front of her, and then 2 back actually ended up being disqualified herself and moved from 3rd to 5th. So hopefully she's going to get away from any of the inquiry, objection, disqualification boards and get out in a, like you said, smooth break.
Yeah, and that last race turned out to be a key race. 3 horses come back to run, and 2 of them have won. So 2 out of 3 were winning that last race that Hiram's Mistress was in. And we're in total agreement here. We also got the 8 Lady Red Love, who's dropping to this level this afternoon.
Yep, ran 5 furlongs on the turf last time out. Didn't really show too much against the $35,000 maiden claimers last time out, but 2 back ran against $20,000 maidens and finished 3rd. So I think that this is a good spot for this.
Yeah,
horse.
I mean, I think Antonio Santos spots up perfectly this afternoon. Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. 1 mile on the fast main track, as we mentioned, fast main track. Firm turf course, 1 mile claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, or 3-year-olds, $30,000 down to $25,000. 6 runners in the field, and you went to the inside with the number 1 in your horse I did not use on my ticket.
I did. This horse is stretching out in distance, ran at 6 furlongs last time out and finished 3rd, beaten just a little bit over 3 lengths behind just before, who was the next out winner. I thought it was a bit of a key race coming there, saved a lot of ground and was gaining. Tried the turf before that, and that was a no-go, but looking at the past performances since moving over into the Rohan Crichton barn, I think have been very strong. Actually ended up breaking her maiden by 10 3/4 lengths a few back, so hoping that she can go back to that mile distance and feel comfortable like that.
Yeah, I was just trying to beat the morning line favorite here. I thought this horse would be favored. I did go to the number 5 on my ticket, but I can't believe we're like all over the place in this second race. I went with Diplomatic Affairs, trying these 30 condition claimers after a 2-race win streak, which included a victory against older horses, ended when she dueled for the lead. She weakened. It was against $16,000 optional claimers at this distance. Eddie Castro, Stevie DeMauro, the trainer in this horse. I just thought that maybe the score at 7-2 might be able to beat the inside horse. Untrue. I just wasn't comfortable putting that horse on top of the ticket. But, certainly at 2-1, you would think a lot of people are going to use it.
Yeah, and I actually felt the very same way about Diplomatic Affair, feeling a little bit unsure, and the step up in class, the disappointing performance when being a little bit more forwardly placed last time out, but certainly has been able to get to the winner's circle before and might be able to do so today. We both used the number 2 horse, Artie's Bourbon Girl, who moved over into the Peter Walder barn last time via the claim. That was against $30,000 claimers. Had been outside and didn't put up one of the best performances, but I think is eligible to improve now.
Yeah, she was the tepid favorite last time out, and just that was basically a disappointing 7, a bit of a clunker. The trainer, as you mentioned, Peter Walder, who claimed her 2 starts back, has Rafael Hernandez handling the stretch out in distance this afternoon. So we're finally in agreement, 1 horse here, and then you used the number 3 horse, and that's Sunset Medea.
Sweet Medea, who moved over. Sweet Medea moved over into the Stanley Gold barn last time out, finished 3rd, beaten by 2 3/4 lengths there, was rallying on the outside. I thought this is a horse that's definitely going to be doing some running in the latter stages of the race. I think that the one Untrue will be a little bit more forwardly placed from the rail, and I look for Sweet Medea, who's 4-1 in the morning line, to be picking up the pieces late.
Well, number 6, Recent Transaction, is stepping up, stretching out after responding to the addition of blinkers with a $25,000 maiden victory going 7 furlongs. Jose Pinchin, a leading jock, MSCL Jaramillo. So a couple of things to like about the number 6 in there. 8-1 in the morning line. I was looking a different way in this race, so I was trying to get, maybe a little creative in here. As I mentioned, did not use that morning line favorite, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't use it on here. We'll see how that race plays out. Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. 7 furlongs, maiden claiming event. 3-year-olds and up, $50,000 down to $40,000. Jockey change on number 6. Make the rider Luca Panici. And both of us here have, I have the number 5, Grand Nene on top. Let's start there. This one, a well-meant second at this level in distance. 2 starts back, is dropping today.
Well, I moved around a couple of times whether I wanted to put this horse on top or not. I decided to put him in second. I want to go back and show his most recent race. This is back on May 29th. Has a bit of early speed, but it looks like the break is really the problem. Here's number 2 here, Grand Nene. You see just drifting all over the place, gets shuffled back a bit. It was a bit of an awkward start. 2 starts back, ended up finishing second this day. You see now, you're cut to the stretch. Made up a ton of ground here. Ended up being beaten by about 2 lengths, was the odds-on favorite that day. 0 for 10 so far in starts. 2 starts back, had an awkward start as well, just really jumped in the air coming out of the starting gate. Even when he does break well and gets out front and has the ability to show some early speed, ends up hanging a bit and always just misses it. So I felt a little bit unsure, we were talking about that before, actually putting this horse on top.
Yeah, and I went that way, for all the reasons, with the bad break and everything like like that. I thought it was the logical choice. I actually like this horse a lot today. You did go with the number 7, Whip and Nene on top of your ticket. You've been trying to get me to do this dance for a couple of weeks, whatever it is. I know that I didn't know anything about it until Casey explained it to me. Stepping up and stretching out today.
Yeah, well, if this horse wins, then we're definitely going to have to get you to do some Whip and Nene. So we'll practice. But this horse is stepping up in class a bit after finishing second in his debut last time out. Finished a strong second ahead of next out winner Candy Jam. Has been working really nicely since that debut as well from the Dave Casson barn. And respect for the connections. I was a little bit concerned about the step up in class, but just trying again, I felt uncomfortable putting the 5 Grand Nene on top and trying to find another solution. And you'll get a better price on Whip and Nene too, 6-1 a morning line.
Yeah, and if it wins, I got to dance. Number 3, Cotton Collars, making his first start since encountering a bit of trouble at the 16th pole. He had a steady just a bit, finished 4th behind aforementioned Grand Nene when they competed, but that was on May 6th. Angel Penna Jr., Matthew Rispoling had a rematch this afternoon.
Yes, and this is a horse who's another one's been working nicely coming into today, a $145,000 son of High Cotton.
Well, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the Rainbow 6.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a fun contest that we have going on. It's called Beat the Expert. Every Friday, if you're able to pick more winners than me or my co-host Ron Nicoletti, then you will have the chance to win a free polo shirt that says that you beat the expert. Go to facebook.com/GulfstreamPark to enter and use hashtag #BeatTheExpert to let us know that you're playing. Bring it on.
Race number 4 this afternoon will be contested at 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $10,000. We do have a scratch in here of number 11, Canarsie Kid, and a horse that we both had some interest in this afternoon, but not going to compete. So let's show you quickly my Rainbow 6 ticket this afternoon. And there you see it 2 deep in here with the 8 and 9. Had the 11 on my ticket, but being scratched. Then it went 3, 2, 2, 3, and 4. $57.60. I couldn't find a single. I don't know if you did during this, part. I couldn't find one in there. And I went with the number 8, Swagbag, who was my original top pick on the ticket. A solid second on the turf at this level and distance on May 6th. And a disqualified second, drifted out on the grass and May 22nd, is now going back to the lawn. Duel for the lead, weakened to finish 4th. That was against 12, 5, 2 lifetime claimers, going 6.5 furlongs. Was on the wet main track listed as good. This horse, I think, is better on the turf.
I agree, and I used him on top for all of those reasons as well. Not a terrible performance on a good track, on the main track last time out, but I think better suited to the turf, especially with his ability to show that early speed. We keep talking about how early speed has been doing well on the turf, especially in the sprint races. He's only got 5 furlongs here. I think he blasts off, and it's catch me if you can.
Yeah, I feel the same way with that. Now, the horse you had in second, I ended up adding to my ticket, but when I went back and looked, this horse got a pretty good shot going back to the turf today. I'm talking about the 7 Chia Ghost.
Yeah, I actually had this horse on originally. I like this one a lot. Moving over into the Bernardo Lopez barn via the claim, Marcos Meneses will stay in the saddle. And this horse has shown some early speed when running on the dirt. Ran on the dirt last time. Is going to move back over to the turf, but might be able to sit a good trip behind Swagbag, who will probably be the primary speed. Finished in a bit of a key race last time out, second on the dirt, behind Caropano, who was a next out winner, and in front of Cold Blood, who was also a next out winner.
Yeah, he split those next out winners. And if you look at this horse's record on the turf, 13 previous races, but only 1 win. But that 1 win was at this 5 furlong distance. So there is reason to believe this horse will handle the switch to the turf this afternoon for the new connections. The other horse I used in second, who I liked all along on my ticket, is Totally Evil, turning back to 5 furlongs after a couple of solid turf outings, going 7.5 furlongs, in which he defeated 12-5 maidens 2 starts back, and was placed second via decision against 12-5 2 lifetime claimers last time out. Got to prove he can run well at 5 furlongs. Going to have to sit behind the pace today.
Absolutely, and I think that that's really key about that, having a little bit of that patience to sit behind the speed. Tyler Gaffleone is in the saddle, so if you're certainly looking for someone with a good clock as far as that goes. And this one, I think we'll have to use that versatility. Definitely one to have on there.
Well, let's go to race number 5 this afternoon, and this one is 5.5 furlong maiden claiming event for 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level is $10,000. 8 runners in here with no scratches or jockey changes, and you will show your late pick 5 ticket.
Yes, I found a single in my early pick 5, but wasn't able to single in the late pick 5. I could have done it right here in race 5. As I mentioned, Norman's Hero, the 4, was my early pick 5 single, but you know how I feel sometimes about singling in the first leg, so I threw on another horse and still kept it very affordable, $48. The deepest race that I went in was in race number 6, went 4 deep there. A maiden claiming I thought was really wide open, but other than that, a couple of two horses in the legs and 3 in the 7.
$48 ticket, once again, affordable. And I think we believe we both have the same horse on top, being that you singled in your early pick 5, and I'm talking about Norman's Hero.
Yeah, this one was second last time out and missed just by half a length behind Cora Crevy team, who was due for a win there. Really fought back. I thought it was a really tough as nails performance there. And that was the first start moving over into the Stephen DeMauro barn. I think really eligible to improve.
Yeah, now he shipped in from Tampa and ran very well, so has one over the track now in that barn, so should run well in there. And we both used an we're total agreement here once again. Cat's Warrior in second, who's turning back slightly to 5.5 furlongs. After surrendering a late lead, he finished second. He was beaten in that, going 6 furlongs. That was on the wet track, listed as good. I think he's a logical contender then. You added him to your ticket.
Yeah, and this one dueled really nicely last time as well. Another one who just missed, was beaten by a neck. And as you mentioned, that was on the good track. There was a little bit of moisture that day. That was when dropping to this level as well. I think that this is a good spot for him in the $10,000 maiden claiming. Emisel Jaramillo will stay aboard. And I especially think off of that last performance, one that you can't discredit, 5-1 on the morning line, too.
Well, number 6, Go Salvatore Go, is breaking from a less demanding post today after departing from post 10, tracking the pace, finishing third behind the next out winner called Cora Crevy team. And guess what Cora Crevy team did? Defeated Norman's Hero last time out. So.
Yeah, I think that's exactly that. If you like those other 2 horses, you have to have Go Salvatore Go on.
Yeah, and I mean, he can get lucky and win it, and he certainly has the ability to win it there, and that's how you have to depend how deep you're going to go with your Rainbow 6 or your late pick 5 ticket. Race number 6 this afternoon, 5 furlongs, maiden claiming fillies, 2-year-olds, $25,000. Scratch the 1, Our Incredible Life. So we're still dealing with 8 baby runners in here. It should be a lot of fun. And I know that I had number 8, Israel's Dream, on top of my ticket.
Yes, I did too. Claimed, and now moving over into the Angel Rodriguez barn. Emisel Jaramillo climbs aboard, gets Lasix for the first time, also gets blinkers for the first time. And I think all of those things coming together, this 2-year-old daughter of Kentharos should be able to find the winner's circle.
Yeah, I think she's the logical choice. And number 6 in here, we're in agreement again with our exact. We don't usually do this, but today it seems like it's one of those days. That's Queen del Valle, is the daughter of first-year sire Barishnikov, who's by Empire Maker, debuting for Antonio Sano. 5 local workouts showing. Freshman starts her campaign. You got Lasix, you got jockey Marcos Menendez to ride, and all those things put together, I think this horse should run well in this spot.
I think so too. And this one had a really nice 4 furlong work back on June 18th. Went 47-1, so really sharp. Looks like she's ready for her debut. Actually, the first foal of Barishnikov to run, so it'll be interesting to see how his progeny do.
And you closed it out with the number 4 horse in here, and that's Beautiful Alley.
Yeah, I liked the works for this horse. I thought pretty consistent. Besides those 2 horses that we have on top, again, I thought this was a pretty wide open race. I had some interest in the 1, Our Incredible Life, who scratched out. I went with the 4, Beautiful Ally, who on June 27th had a 48-3 4 furlong work over at Gulfstream Park West, which was even bigger to me. We talk about how sometimes you see a little bit slower numbers over at Gulfstream Park West, but really looked strong, ready for debut.
Yeah, and it's a little deeper track over there and really legs the horses up nicely. I did use the number 7, Mimi Meaty, as the daughter of Pomeroy. And if you look at Pomeroy as a sire, he's 20 for 136. That's 15% with 2-year-old first-time starters. So pretty good percentage there, 15% with all those starters making their debut. As a 2-year-old, Mike Yates adds Lasix, got jockey Juan Leyva in the saddle. So just a little bit of an angle there that you might want to look at, a horse that you can put on your try or superfecta ticket. Race number 7 this afternoon, 5 furlongs on the turf. It's an allowance optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, or the optional claiming price of $25,000. Scratch number 1, Miss World Venezuela, and scratch the number 9, Wildcat Kelly. And we'll see how this race plays out. I know that I had one of those horses right on top of my ticket.
Yes, we're in agreement with our top selection, and that's the number 5, Goodbye Sorrow, from the Wesley Ward barn, who really looks to be the dominating speed in this race. Though taking the blinkers off today, it's a pretty common move by Wesley Ward, but came off of about a year layoff, had some really fast fractions last time out, ended up winning by 2 lengths, but went the opening quarter in 20-2. So some really fast. The blinkers might help this horse settle a bit.
Yeah, and the half was 42-4 this afternoon. Let's show you a stat about Wesley Ward over the last 5 years, removing the blinkers off in sprints on the turf. The 61 for 220, 78, 22%. 53% in the money with a $1.81 ROI. So he's done it 278 times. That's what I found the most amazing about the stat. And he's still batting 22%. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, more than half of the time in the money. So pretty consistent there.
Yeah, we mention all the time Wesley Ward runs his 2-year-olds with blinkers on and takes them off, when they come back. And, he's always done that for years and years. Now, the horse you have in second is towards the outside, and that's the number 10.
Yeah, Lady Master has some speed as well. Stepped up to this level last time out and had a little bit of a tough time. Was pretty wide, but 2 back. Ran in her first start at the 12.5 level after dropping. If you look back in her past performances, she's been in a stake. She's tried different distances, different levels. I think that this is a good spot for her. A little bit of a disappointing finish last time, but what she did show last time is that she has the ability that she doesn't need to be right out front. I think especially with the speed from Goodbye Sorrow, this one might be able to sit a good trip from the Marcial Navarro barn.
And the other one that's going to have some speed in here is the 7 Summer Rae, going to try and make it 2 in a row after setting a pressured pace. This horse was hounded throughout when defeating $30,000 condition claimers at the distance, and I just thought there was a logical choice. Now, the horse I used in third is the 11, for the same reason you used the 10, and that's Starship Jubilee, who came from off the pace to break her maiden at this distance, breaks from the outside, looking to sit that trip behind the speed. But there is a chance here that a horse like number 5, Goodbye Sorrow, will just run away from this horse.
Yes, absolutely. And the hope is that with the blinkers that she's able to settle a little bit, but she showed last time out that she can set those fast fractions and still get the win.
And blinkers off this afternoon, as we mentioned. Let's go to race number 8, 7 furlong starter, optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, $10,000. Scratch the 1 horse in here. Ari's Pride, jockey change on the 7, make the rider Ashley Yodis, and we both went with the number 11, Blings Express.
Yes, the Blings Express from the Ralph Zadie barn has been knocking on the door in the past couple of starts, been second and then third before that. Last time was the first start in the Zadie barn since being claimed, and that was second by just a neck. And I want to go back and show that race. This was on May 28th, so a little bit fresh coming into this race. See the gray right there, the number 8 that day, and he looks like he's sitting really well here. Had shown some early speed. It was a really tight photo with the number 7, Color Me Pom Pom, who ends up actually getting the win again just by a neck. But it was a very impressive finish. I thought I really just dug in and tried to hold on. Unfortunately, just missed on the photo, but very close. And you see they're very, very tight. A good performance.
Yeah, and he's stretching out to his most accomplished distance today. 8 starts, 4 wins, a second and a third. As you saw, returning from that 2-month layoff to run exceptionally well in there. And we both used a horse that surprised us when we saw the morning line, and that is the 2 Toes Gray Cat.
Oh, this is a hard-knocking 9-year-old gelding. 48 lifetime starts, 12-time winner, so certainly knows his way to the winner's circle. Was second by just half a length last time out at 1.16 miles, so cutting back in distance now a bit. Had a really nice win over another hard-knocking 9-year-old Chillin' Dillon, 2 back to win by a head. Has been changing hands a bit. He's now in the Steve Badu barn, but Tyler Gaffleone's going to climb aboard. Does not have a win at the 7 furlong distance, but I guess, he's getting up there, so he's got to accomplish it all.
Yeah, he just got beat under the shadow of the wire in here. And then we both used the number 7. I actually added this after the scratch of the number 1, Crazy Frank. So he's turning back to clearly what is his best distance. This is actually the only distance this horse has ever won at. And 7 furlongs, 6 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds in the third. After coming up a half length short, that was against $10,000 starter optional claimers going a mile last last time out. We mentioned the jockey change to Ashley Odis this afternoon.
Well, for all the reasons that you mentioned, that record at this distance was certainly a big one. I liked the number 1 Ari's Pride as well, but this one just missed by half a length last time out at the mile. Had tried the turf before that, but I think that this is a good spot for Crazy Frank C.
Well, let's go to our 9th and final race this afternoon. 1 mile on the turf. These are maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $25,000. I just have the 8-horse scratching. I'm sure the also eligible is out. If it's not out, Pete will know once we get in. Oh, it actually could run because it wasn't main track only. So number 13 is probably in and run. So mark that down. That's there. So scratch the 8. Looks like the 13 might run.
The 13 Flamenco Tiger might be in. I ended up going with the number 3 El Vedado on top. We're in agreement with our top 3 horses. Just a little bit flip-flopped around. I was second last time out behind a bit of a runaway winner, but this one has a nice stalking ability, stretching out slightly once again to the mile. John Cruz will be aboard. Reed Nagel, the trainer.
Well, let me tell you why I went with 11 on top, Hava Nagila, besides the dancing theme we got here with the nay thing. This one's cutting back to a mile. The first starts and setting the pace and weakening at the 8 pole. He finished 5th, but it turned out a unbelievable race. 5th behind a trio of next out winners. So it was a really strong key race going a mile in the 16th. So Hava Nagila right on top of my ticket going with the key race angle, 10-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, you get a very nice price there. Has some early speed as well, and cutting back from the mile and 16th to the mile on the turf.
Yeah, we both used the number 6 horse on our ticket, Nvidia.
This one's coming off about an 8-month layoff, but had been running in pretty good form at the $35,000 maiden claiming level prior to this, but taking the blinkers off. I want to give a stat on trainer Ronnie Warner with horses taking the blinkers off in maiden claiming. 16 for 68, about 24% in the win column, 48% of the time in the money, and a positive ROI of 218. So pretty consistent in the numbers there with this move, taking the blinkers off. Had run with the blinkers off at the start of her career, but I think off of the layoff, running at this level, and actually it's the first start in the barn.
Well, that's how we see the Friday action, and I hope you wrote down all Acacia's picks so you can play Beat the Expert this afternoon.
Yes, don't forget, you can go on GulfstreamPark.com or Facebook.com/GulfstreamPark, and don't forget to use hashtag #BeatTheExpert. Let us know that you're playing, and good luck today.
Yeah, good luck, especially if you can beat the expert.